Okay, it's going to be hard to accept. This is Roger, Mudfossil University, Australia, Outback Northern Territory. This page on Facebook, a fabulous page. They had this here today about the Aboriginal art and the structures in these, dwelling areas in these sacred places. And I know quite well about these because this is what I do. I study rocks, and I do study the ancient texts and the histories and all that too. So I fully understand what's going on here, and I'm going to tell you this is biology, and I'm going to show you why I can make that statement. Now, I did post right here on their page about this mud fossil, and this is the exact same thing that they have there, only it's upside down. So these are the teeth that stick down into the floor, and of course it would have been not eroded, it would have been fallen down this way. This has come back this way. The strap that connects to that ball, because these are anchors and they have a strap coming, it would have gone right through here up into that ball. These are the spikes that come out of the ball. They're just like it's just all spiked around here, and that sticks into fleshy area here and anchors this ball into that flesh. Now I'm going to show you the anatomical drawings about this, but that is what is in that cave. And then they just cleaned up around up in here, and then they carved into this, which is nothing. It's a very bloody substance. You can see it's all red blood. So this is what they use that. I've been studying tendons very well because of the mud fossils, because I find them in the mud fossils. They preserve excellent. They create basalt, limestone, that type of stuff, CaCO3, and minerals. Now, they form these balls with a strap. This is the tendon strap, and this is the ball. And as it progresses and grows in the body, they become quite fibrous in the straps, and they become extremely mineralized in the ball. And you see this mineral cell previous expressed, da 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 da. Well, this is the bloody stuff around the mineralization, and in specific areas, specifically where grip skin is, and your fingers and your toes and so forth, they have spikes, real heavy spikes coming out of these, and that's what is in these, what I just showed you. This is one of those tendon balls, and that's all the bloody stuff that's around it. That's the stalk, and back up here it shows, you see this fibrous stuff? That is the strap of the ball, and you can see the ball here, and there's the two abrupt transition leading to the strap. I don't know if it'll be obvious in this light, but the ball is here, which is all part of this ball. The strap comes around, and it's that strap right there, and there's the abrupt transition. That's what happens as they lead away from these balls. Now this is how these abrupt transitions break, which is coming from the ball I showed you, leading into the fibrous cord that runs to the balls. Now, and we all know what happens on the other end. You have all that spiky stuff sticking into the fleshy material or the bone or whatever it is. They are anchors. They hold these straps. So these straps run out to your muscles, and when your muscles pull against your bones, this is what holds your bone into your bones and your flesh, and so you can pull against your muscles, and it'll pull your arm and so forth. And I know it sounds crazy, but all of this stuff is biological, and these things come in clusters that are incredible, and they are huge. They're enormous, as you can see by the cave, the structure that has all those spikes sticking down from it. It's sticking down from literally one of these balls. Now these tendon fibrils, where they stick up and they attach to these tendon balls, which this is what this is, they are so tough, it's unbelievable. That one little stalk holds these things up. Now there was one they called Krishna's butter ball. They is a similar situation to this, and they were afraid it was going to fall over. They brought up 7 elephants, tried to knock it over. It's still standing. They could not push it over. Very, very strong tendon. That's why you can pull incredible amounts of weight with your physical tendon attachments. But when they slip out of those little joints, woohoo, they hurt. And I'm going to show you one that did slip. All right, these are the straps. That's the ball. It's supposed to be implanted right there, and it was ripped out of here. This is a microscopic shot of a tendon mat with the strap attached to the mat. It comes up, it goes through a little slot. You see, they all have the same thing. I showed you they come in clusters. The ball goes through that little strap, the hole, into the anchor spot. Now, what does that mean? That means this can pull back and forth, and is being pulled against this strap, which is in this bone or whatever is attached to meat, muscle, so forth. That gives it the ability to pull against an anchor spot. Without these anchors, you have no ability to pull. When you break a tendon, you just lose. You can't move your arm. You can't do it. And I broke my tendon in my right shoulder, and I literally couldn't move my arm. And the only way they can fix that is to sew it back together. They will not attach back together. These things do not grow back together. Once you have established them in your body, they are done. They're there and they're inert. Literally inert. And the reason I can say that is because the University of Copenhagen did a study on tendons, why they wouldn't heal. And they found out that the tendons that are in the people that grew up in the 50s and the 60s when they were doing nuclear testing still have the same level of radiation in those tendons. Only the tendons. The rest of their body has gone back to background level. Now, back in the 50s and 60s, there's a lot of radiation in the air. It was, let's say, double the normal radiation. So what happens? You eat the stuff and it's carbon-based, which is absorbing all this stuff, and you end up having twice amount of radiation in your body. So, and it's in there and it stays in there, and it's in the tissues. Well, your tissues in your body regenerate and replace themselves all the time. Your stomach replaces itself very, very quickly. And all your skin tissues and everything replaces itself. So what you are today is not what you were 40 years ago if you're that old. 50 years ago, whatever. Now, what does that mean? That means that if the tissues that were in you 50 years ago are still in you today, they're not being regenerated. And that is the case with tendons. Connective tissues do not regenerate. They stay literally inert in your body and just tough as hell. They're like cords running through your body that are like nylon. They just they don't absorb anything. They don't interact with other things. They just are strong and tough, and they just stay there. And that's what these are. And then they stay after you're dead too. Find them all over the earth. All right, I showed you the stone balls come in clusters, and I did say they're pretty good size, and that's a house, that's a van, and these aren't even big. Let me show you how they come real big, and one that still had a strap attached to it. That is a tendon ball, and so is that, and so are these over here. Another cluster of tendon balls. That is the last remaining strap. That strap broke off and ran down to one of these others. They all had straps running down. This was the layer of that flesh before, and that was the strap that ran down to that ball. Now, the fleshy stuff or whatever it was embedded into has eroded away, but these balls are very tough, and you see them all over the earth and elsewhere.